In this psalm, I will be dealing with Psalm 14, looking at the grammar uh, pretty much word by word or verse by verse, seeking to give an inductive Hebrew grammar of this wonderful psalm. A little bit about the background. Uh, According to some commentators, they understand this to refer to Israel suffering from the persecution of a godless society or world. This was the viewpoint, according to some Sino commentary, of Rashi and Kimki. Others believe that it refers to a righteous remnant within Israel at the time that was suffering because of religious decay. And, and of course, whichever position one takes, it's certainly looking at the righteous suffering under a, can I say, godless type of rejection of God, of his oversight, and persecuting those that are righteous or that were righteous. And this can be applied to today as well, I believe. So let's look at the psalm. We'll do this by, first of all, looking at the vocabulary, followed then by the reading of the psalm, verse by verse, or phrase by phrase, and then looking at the grammar inductively. We have, in the way of vocabulary, naval, which means fool, or one who is lacking true sense, a sense of righteousness. Ta'av means to do that which is abominable. Alilah means deed. Shakaf means to look or to look down. Allah means to be tainted or corrupt. Pachad means to have dread, and pachat, a cognate accusative in this passage, means dread. Machseh means refuge or shelter. Me here, often me will mean who. Here it means oh that, oh that. And then shavut means captivity, and gil, a middle weak verb, means to rejoice. So let's look at the passage or the psalm phrase by phrase. Notice it begins, Lam natseach le David, Amal naval belibo ein Elohim. Lam natseach, you have your lamed, possibly of auctorus, of authorship, followed by the PL participle in menatseach. Notice the root is natsach, to be preeminent, and so we could translate it to the preeminent one. And notice the mem prefix is indicating a PL participle with the shava pathak and the doubling of the tsate, the middle radical. So to the leader, it's almost like the choir master, possibly, a psalm of David, a psalm belonging to David. Amar naval bilibo, that is, the fool has said in his heart, Ein Elohim, there is no God. Amar is your cow perfect third masculine singular from the root amar, to say. Naval here is the noun meaning fool, and it's looking at a person that is really lacking a sense of wanting to do right, living practically as though there is no God. So it's not just looking at intellectual, can I say, rejection, but moral rejection. So the fool has said belibo, in his heart. Notice the inseparable preposition be, followed by the noun lave, here in construct with o, the pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. So the fool has said in his heart, ain, the negative particle, there is no God. In other words, he is feeling that God is absent and will not observe what evil or senseless action toward others he might do. And notice then, hishchitu hitivu alila ein osei tov. They have dealt corruptly. They have done that which is abominable in deed or by deed. There is none who does good. Notice hishchiti is from shachat, meaning to deal corruptly or to do that which is corrupt. And notice we have a hifil, a perfect here, third common plural from shachat. Notice the hey prefix with the hirik, the I vowel, followed by the hirik yod, the long I vowel. So we're looking at a hifil. They have caused to deal corruptly, and they have done that which is that deed which is abominable. Notice hit evu is from the root ta'av, to do that which is abominable. And notice again, we have another hifil, perfect, third common plural, from the root ta'av. And alila just means deed. So they're saying to themselves, that is the fool, God doesn't look and he's not seeing. So the fool is saying, we're going to act as though he doesn't exist. And ein osei tov, there is none who does good. Ein, negative particle again. Osei is your cow active participle or your cow participle, masculine singular from asa. And so, by the way, these words are quoted by the Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 3, showing the universality of mankind. Many are dealing, or the human race has gone away from God, Paul said, in the fall. And this is one of the passages he quotes there. Then we go to verse 2. Adonai mishamayim hishkif al b'nei Adam, lirot hayesh maskil, doresh et Elohim. That is, the Lord looked down from heaven upon the sons of men. Notice here, the Lord is the subject, and he's looking down from heaven. His kif is from the root shakaf, to look down. And notice it's a hifil again, a hifil, third masculine singular from shakaf with a hey prefix. So he is caused to look down upon the sons of men, meaning the people on earth, the rot hayesh maskil, to see if there is any who understand. Notice lirot is from the root ra'ah, a final lamed hey verb. It's a cow infinitive construct, lirot here, to see. And notice the Lord is looking down from heaven to see if there are any that have understanding. Notice maskil is a hifil participle, masculine singular from sakal, to have understanding. Notice we have a mem prefix. We have an A-I thematic vowel pattern, pathak under the mem, followed by the hirik yod in the final syllable. To see if there is any that really have understanding, who are seeking God. Notice doresh is your cow active participle, masculine singular from daraj. So God is looking down to see if there's any that's seeking him. And the thought here is they're not. They're going in another direction. And that's exactly what the Apostle Paul drives home in Romans chapter 3, where he pearl strings a number of passages together to show what has happened as a result of the fall in Adam. Then we move on to verse 3. Hakol sar yachdav nechalahu. That is, they all, or all, have turned. Notice sar is your cal perfect middle weak verb, sur, from sur, a third masculine singular. So all have turned, a collective singular, I believe. They have together become impure, or become, can I say, rotten or sour. Notice Allah is the root, and the noon prefix is showing that we're looking at a nifal perfect, a third common plural from Allah. So the word actually occurs in Job with the idea of becoming sour, or milk becoming sour or rotten. And so what the psalmist is saying here is that the world, or those that are persecuting the righteous, have become sour, like soured milk. And then as we go on, there is none that is doing good. Notice osei is your cow active participle again, masculine singular from asa. There is none doing good. Ein gam achad. No, indeed, not one. No, literally, not one. So really, the human race, and Paul will apply this, has become sour. And he'll apply it from the original fall in Adam. Then as we move on in verses 4 and following, we see that God is not absent from his judgment, that he will judge the world and those that are responding like the naval, like the fool. And so in verse 4, he says, Halo yadu'u kol po'ale, or pe'ale avin, ochle ami achlu lechem. Adonai lo karahu. That is, shall not all the workers of iniquity know? Here's a question. Shall they not know that God will look down and bring judgment and also deliverance for those that follow him, that are seeking to be righteous? Here we have a question. The negative particle in yadu'u is a cal perfect third common plural from yada. All those that work iniquity, all workers of iniquity. Shall they not know? The implication is they will know. And then notice, achle ami achlu lechem. That is, who eat my people as they eat bread, who devour them with evil deeds and hurtful things. Notice ochle is your cal active participle here. And notice it's plural with the tseri yod. So who are devouring my people. Notice E here is your pronominal suffix, first common singular, as they eat bread. Achlu is your cow perfect, third common plural from achal. So they're devouring my people like they eat bread, the psalmist is saying. Adonai lo kara'u. They do not call upon the Lord. In other words, they don't recognize God and the Lord, the psalmist is saying. Then in verse 5, Sham pachadu fachad, ki Elohim badur tzadik. There, they literally have dread with dread. In other words, they are in great, can we say, sheer terror. Bachadu, that would be those that are acting and living out the naval, the fool. That is, they dread with dread, or we could translate this: they have sheer terror of the fact that someday they will see God in judgment. And notice the psalmist is saying, he's using here, notice what he's doing. He's using a cognate accusative in fachad to intensify the thought. They have dread with dread, or sheer dread or fear. And pachadu, notice, or sheer terror or dread. Pachadu is your cow, perfect, third common plural from pachad. And the fachad is just your cognate accusative that goes with that, emphasizing the dread that they will have when God steps in to judge, is the thought. And then we go on, Ki Elohim badur tzadik. For God is with the righteous generation. In other words, God is going to come and be a refuge for the generation that wants to do right, that is righteous before him. And then notice verse 6, Atzat ani tavishu ki Adonai maksehu. That is, the counsel of the poor you put to shame. And notice atzat is in construct here from etzah with ani, two nouns in construct, the counsel of the poor, you would put to shame. This is from the root bush, to shame. And notice here we have a hifil, imperfect, second person or masculine plural from bush. So you would put to shame the counsel of the poor, but you don't understand that God is his refuge. For God is his refuge, or because God is his refuge. And notice here, maksehu is the noun, refuge, makse, and hu is your pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. God is his refuge. And then, after looking at how the Lord will judge those that are evil and wicked toward the righteous, he then continues with a final beautiful conclusion, a prayer here, talking about God's coming salvation to deliver the righteous. Notice verse 7, Mi yatain mitzion Yeshuat Yisrael, Bishuv Adonai Shavut Amo, Yagil Yaakov Yismach Yisrael. Oh, that salvation of the Lord were given from Zion. Notice yatain is from the root natan. It's a pei noon verb, and here the noon of the stem has assimilated by progressive assimilation historically into the Tav. So yin tain becoming yit tain, and that's why we have a doubling of the Tav. So, oh, that the salvation of Israel were given from Zion, or were to come from Zion. And notice Yeshuat is in construct from Yeshua with the at ending here with Yisrael. And he's looking forward to God bringing deliverance. Zion was where God's presence dwelt in the temple in Zion. And then as we go on, Beshuv Adonai Shavut Amo. When the Lord returns or turns the captivity of his people. That is, when he sees what's happening and he turns it around. And notice Beshuv, here in Shuv, we have a cow infinitive construct, and we would just render it when the Lord turns the captivity of his people. Shabut is in construct with Amo, and O is the pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. So he's looking forward to the salvation of his people when God returns their captivity. And this could be not necessarily looking at what happened in the Babylonian captivity or even in the Egyptian captivity, but using the phrase captivity in more of a metaphorical kind of a way. So when the Lord returns the captivity of his people, Yagel Yaakov Yismach Yisrael. Let Jacob rejoice. And notice here, Gil, a middle weak verb, is the root, and it's adjussive, a cow jussive, third masculine singular from Gil. So let Israel, or let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. Yismach is another jussive, cow imperfect / jussive, third masculine singular from samach, to rejoice. And so what the text is saying is looking forward to the Lord's final deliverance in spite of what is going on with the surrounding nations or the surrounding people that are living unrighteously toward the righteous. And in terms of New Testament application, it's interesting that in the New Testament, the church, Jesus said, in the world, you will have tribulation and suffering, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And we look forward in New Testament theology in applying the same kind of principles that we're reading here to the coming of Christ, who will bring righteous judgment and who will bring deliverance. He is, can I say, the rescuer of the righteous. So in a corrupt world, the psalmist is saying the hope is then, and the confidence is the everlasting arms of the Lord himself, who will turn the captivity around and bring salvation. And that, as I'm saying, in New Testament thought, has its final fulfillment in the second coming of Jesus Christ. What a beautiful psalm. And let me just read it now consecutively from the Hebrew. Lamnatseach le David, Amar naval de lebo ein Elohim, Ishchitu, it ivu alilah, ein osei tov, Adonai mishamayim, ishkif al bnei Adam, lirot hayesh maskil duresh et Elohim. Hakol sar yachdav nechalahu, ein osei tov, ein gam achad. Halo yadu'u kol pe'ale aven. Okle ami achlu lechem. Adonai lo karahu. Sham pachadu fachat. Ki Elohim bedor tzadik. Atzatani tavishu. Ki Adonai maksehu. Mi yitain mitzion Yeshuat Yisrael. Beshuv Adonai Shavut Amo. Yagil Yagel Yaakov Yismach Yisrael. What a beautiful psalm. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They have dealt corruptly. They have done that which is abominable in their word and their deeds. There, there is none that is doing righteous. The Lord, though, looked down from heaven upon the sons of men to see if there were those, if there was any that had understanding, who is seeking God. All have turned. They have together become, can I say, sour. There is none who does good, no, not one. Shall not all the workers of iniquity know this, who devour my people as they devour bread? They do not call upon the Lord. There they will then be in sheer dread, for God is with the righteous generation. The counsel of the afflicted you put to shame, for the Lord is his refuge, though. So, oh, that the Lord would give the salvation of Israel from Zion when the Lord returns the captivity of his people. Let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. What a beautiful psalm. And it has, I believe, New Testament application, looking at the final advent, the final second coming of Jesus Christ.